Hoi hoi. Hello.
What was that?
That was the perfect intro, is what it was. Thank you. We've not just been chatting and just realised what the time is. We would never do that. We're far too cool for that sort of stuff.
Yes. That's the word. That's the word, yeah.
Yes. Cool is the word I use, anyway.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. How you doing, man? How you doing? You all right?
Not bad. I mean, we're talking about holidays, weren't we?
We were. Yeah. So I've got some coming up. You got stuff you want to do? Oh man, do you know what it is? It's because it's getting into that summertime. It's beautiful. Although I don't know if you've had this in Scotland. You never have bad weather in Scotland, but
no, it definitely didn't rain, sunshine, snow, and rain in a matter of an hour.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in Scotland.
I was just doesn't work the other day.
Yeah,
I was like, oh no, shit it down as usual. And then the rain, sun came out. Oh. Okay, so we're having some showers today. Seconds later, snows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
And then it's just sun.
Yeah.
The snow's gone. And I'm just like, the fuck?
Yeah.
It's supposed to have an hour. Yeah, it's crazy.
I had, it went from, when was this, Tuesday? Went from sunny and beautiful to hailing sideways. Like literally you could see it across the whole of Croydon. Because where I work, I'm 12 floors up, so I get a chance to look out. And I can see most of Croydon, and it is just absolutely hammering through. 15 minutes later, it's completely gone. You're like, what the hell was that? But like the damage, man, there was like trees falling over and all sorts. It was really bad. It was like a proper storm. But for 15 minutes, it was strange.
Yeah.
But you don't get that, so...
No, never.
In fact, what is it like up in Scotland right now? Because I assume March for you guys is still pretty damn cold, whereas for us it's just starting to warm up a touch.
Like it's been a lot more sunnier, I would say, for Scotland, but it's like mixed in with showers and rain.
Okay.
But it's fairly chilly still in the mornings though, because I think it's because there's lack of clouds really.
That's true.
It's like like even today there was frost on my window, but then that's mainly because there's no clouds in the sky to keep, I guess, the heat in, so it just gets really cold in the morning and then it just warms up throughout the day. So it's kind of those kind of,
for the past 2 weekends I'd been working to cut down the tree I have in the garden, the pretty big tree that I've got.
Yes.
So that's pretty fun. I've had all sorts of fun trying to climb up a tree, and I've done the majority of it. Like I'm at a point now where I'm like, it's not perfect, but it's close enough, that'll do. If I tried to do anything else, it'd be probably a bit dangerous. So I did all that. So I've chopped a ton of stuff off the tree. I've done loads of stuff in the garden. I'm really pleased. However, I now have to chop up those bits that I've taken off, and every time I'm like, weather looks okay out there, like rain comes 5 minutes later, I'm like, I can't get out there. So literally for the past week I've just had an enormous amount of like branches and stuff.
I would say it has been quite windy as well.
Yeah. So basically I just haven't been able to do anything with it, so I've just the garden is just covered in branches and
mind you, that's probably why there's such a fluctuation in weather at the moment, because it's because
I cut my tree down.
So much because you cut the tree down.
Yeah.
Why did you do this?
Exactly.
But I think just with the wind and stuff, it's just the weather fronts are changing so often. That's why we're getting really random spurts of weather.
I will say though, one of the nice things about my tree, I don't know what kind of tree it is, but as soon as the sun starts to come through, it has these beautiful white and pink flowers that come up, and they're only there for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and it just come up at perfect time for Mother's Day, right? So I went out in the garden, I cut like a really beautiful one off, and I gave it to my mum. And then I went back to hers like 2 days later. I'm like, you've killed the plant! Like, I mean, 100%, it would never survive like more than a day. But of course, I'm proper. I can't believe you! Like, and she's a proper, like, she's a full-on green thumb. She loves gardening. She's like, I'm really sorry. I don't know what I did. I'm like, I'm never going to tell her. Oh god, it was great. Really good fun. But yeah. Oh man, I've got so much to do in the damn garden. I don't even friggin' like gardening. David, do you want a free garden? I don't want it. The only thing that's good about my garden is sometimes, not always, but sometimes I get some garlic chives, and then I will occasionally get some raspberries, which are good, and then I will grow some strawberries, and the foxes will eat them, so I never get to even enjoy them. That is all I get.
I mean, well, that's sad because you probably know they're good because the foxes eat them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They are amazing. The one I've been able to eat in the past 4 years was really good. I
just catch a fox eating one of your strawberries. Oh, Akis, honestly, you should have tried it.
Yeah. Just dabbing their mouths, like and
it's like their tail.
Yeah, delectable. I've actually moved them into hanging baskets because I've had enough now. So let's see if they can jump. Well, what the hell are we doing here, David? Why have you called me here? Why would you do that?
I didn't.
No, definitely you did. I would never arrange such a thing.
No. Well, I guess we're talking Candela finale.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, if we have to. The problem with it is it was so cool that we can't really do it justice. So
no.
I feel like no matter what we say, it's going to be like a pale imitation. Which is my way of saying go and watch it on YouTube because it was really good.
Yes.
I thought it was probably the best finale we've ever done, personally.
What?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that might partially come from the fact that we knew that was it for the characters. Like, we had decided we're not doing any more after this. So it was sort of like, right, give it everything we've got left. But I thought, for me, I thought it was the best finale.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Even though you were running it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. It was really cool. Yeah. Do you know what? I'll tell you what, I'd be interested to know. It kind of felt like you left everything on the field. Was there anything that you actually wanted to do that you couldn't? Or didn't get a chance to?
Well, no, I didn't go into it thinking that.
Okay.
It was like, there's these options before you, and I get to enjoy the sea kind of where you take things, especially with the kind of free phrases I gave you guys to work with. Which were like free resolutions, if you will. And each character got to decide what that looks like.
Yeah, that's true. That was interesting because you were essentially saying, here's your 3 solutions, choose. And for a while, we didn't really choose. It was quite interesting to sort of be like, we're going to find another path. And it was like, oh, there isn't any. Not because you hadn't put anything there, but because there's no way of dealing with this kind of threat in any other way than the sort of 3 ways you put in front of us. But it was fun to be like, oh, we're going to play around and see what we can do, you know.
Yeah, it was just for you, throwing you guys some lines and seeing what catches, and if you wanted to do X, Y, Z, each character independently got to do a choice if they wanted, which, you know, you made the ultimate choice, which, but it was like, if you hadn't, even if you, well, the 4th option is like you didn't really choose, or you had the choice but you didn't get there.
True.
There was a resolution there too because there was a time limit.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose if we from that maybe we segue into talking about the characters. I kind of always thought I was going to die. Not me personally, the character, because he was an older guy, and he was at a point where he'd taken so many hits, and I was like, if he takes much more because I had only one chance left in regards to taking body hits. So if I took more than 3 body hits, I was dead. And I knew that was likely in a battle like this. So it was it was more sort of like, look, I love that character. He's one of the best things I've ever played. I always thought that probably my favourite would be Dr. William Fortescue, but I think actually I've kind of, I think the Professor might be my favourite. It's just so fun doing a rubbish German accent, but and yeah, when it got to the end, when it got to that point where you sort of said, "Do you believe?" and I was like, he wouldn't. No, he absolutely wouldn't. That's why I sort of replied with no.
You know what's so funny about that short? I saw a comment on it.
Yes.
On YouTube, and he said, you know, it was like out of context.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, what was it? He said, like, if you did watch it and you say, "I'm gonna feed the flesh."
Yes. Oh. Yes. Whoops.
Yeah, it's just like it is self context because someone's like, dude, this out of context. Like, I don't remember the actual. I'm paraphrasing, of course. I just saw a random comment on the YouTube short, and I went, "Lol," because I was just like, you know what, fair.
There's one where I like a short that I did. This was probably at least a year ago for one of our Lasers and Feelings. And in fact, it was the Lasers and Feelings where Virgil had his wedding. And I purposely did it so that the phrasing sounded weird, and it was all about Kyle asking if I had a vajayjay, and me going, "What's that?" And I thought that was so stupid. Like, I thought if I just put that in as is, people are going to be like, "What the hell is going on?" Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I love it. I love it when it's sort of people catching. They're like, "What are you talking about? This is mad." And we're like, "Yeah, that's basically what we do." Yeah.
Yeah. You could also say "Happy Bums" is another one.
Happy Bums is awesome.
Yeah, but thankfully there's a bit of like you can kind of get a context of the situation.
Oh yeah,
but just from the get go, "Happy Bums." What?
Yeah.
Take a second look at that.
I love that shit. It's how perfect it was, and just all of us were like, "Oh no."
That's funny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. Oh gosh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, right, yeah. So Klaus, when it came to the point of being like, okay, because the thing is I always thought when you sort of said about, oh, you can make this movement and do this thing, and I'm like, the other two are sort of not young, but sort of younger guys or stronger guys or have magic of some sort. I'm like, this is just an old professor. I'm like, he's not going to be able to do the same skill. He's not going to be able to like jump 10 foot in the air and start climbing up his, you know. So when I sort of realised where he was and how it was, and I was just like, oh, this guy's got to go, because then it gives me a chance to do something interesting at the end, which it did, which was great.
Silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pleased with my ending anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty cool. Like, I can, you know, if any of this got animated or something, you know, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'd love to do something like that, but the time to animate stuff is insane.
Oh, yeah. And even to pay someone else to do it.
Yeah.
Thousands of pounds.
A little while back, I won't name who, but I did some work for somebody who wanted some animated bits and pieces, and I did them, and then I said to him, I'll never do this again, because I was just like, this is incredibly time consuming.
It is. It's tough, man.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. I like, if I was going to do it, I'd probably do, I don't know if you remember the little cartoony things that I did where it was like, it was the pictures of the characters, but it was like, you know, you sort of switch between the characters and they sort of move around a little bit, but I'd happily do something like that. That was fun. Mm-hmm. But even that was fairly time consuming.
Yes.
Seeing as we're sort of still talking about the characters, the link that Kin had, or Josh's character had, with the monster, I think is so cool. I mean, we were obviously fairly certain he knew Dr. Frankenstein. That was, you know, that was kind of from the off. It was like, he's meant to be a version of Frankenstein's monster. We kind of get that.
Above table, you guys knew, but I guess your characters in that world, Frankenstein's not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we don't know what's going on.
Encountering an individual for the first time, or in your case, telling all the trade secrets to.
Yes. See, this is the other thing. He was the bumbling.
Your death was your penance.
Yeah, you're too right.
Yes.
He was the absolute buffoon. But the way that you essentially said he's made out of the same stuff as the monster, and how that interaction was so different to what the rest of us got. Essentially, it wasn't fighting him really in the same way that it was.
The way I thought of it with the creature, and they're like tied and anchored because, it's like Frankenstein managed to access, because he obviously knew there's so much like stuff you can build lore and stuff around what happens. Maybe you experiment. He managed to access the other dimension, but on a very small scale, and this forever flesh to help create eventually kin. So in the laboratory there where you kind of had that final face off with what did I call him?
Oh gosh, yeah, big flesh man.
Not big flesh man, but in the laboratory.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Why is his name? It's because I'm really tired.
Yeah. Why? Why would you be tired?
Gabriel something? I don't know.
Yes.
Remember,
it was
the right hand of the cardinal, right?
Yes.
So he, where you encountered them, but in the laboratory you had all these kind of other test tubes, and there used to be things, and maybe or some things you didn't really investigate in fully or anything like that, but
sure.
Like behind the scenes kind of thing, he's made up of. This is not necessarily something I discussed with Josh really, but it's like, because does Kin really know the actual mechanics of how he is existing? Yeah. So he just knows. And he's made up of all, and also like actual people as well. Like it's skin, it's like patchwork, playing really into the Frankenstein element, but with that kind of extra dimensional aspect, like adding a little spin on the original kind of Frankenstein monster kind of thing. So, and that's why, and also why he can, creating these crazy anime action style feats, right? So it's like, jumping on the monster, running up it, and
I think that having that, it was interesting having a character who had like speed and strength compared to the rest of us, because obviously what we played to begin with was nothing like that. It was all about brains, not brawn, or lack of brains in my way of playing. But it was none of us were like, no, we need to be big, strong, tough guys. It was like, no, you don't need that in this game. We're not going to bother. And it was like, oh, actually, you do kind of need that. Why have we not done that? So I'm glad he sort of skilled up into that with Kin, because I think that worked quite well, especially for that final battle when it was like, no, it makes sense that the big, strong, tough guy is the one who's sort of leading the charge at the end, because it's kind of his story to an extent. Not
he having that like 1 hour episode I did with Josh, the intermission, is kind of, it's not quite a backstory, but it gives you a glimpse into what Kin is capable of, because he kind of gets a kind of squad sent after him, if you will, of Red Hand, and takes them down.
I will tell you, if we didn't call that the interlude, which I think was the name of the episode, something like that, I was going to call it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Nice. It was called the Bleak Below intermission.
That was great. I super enjoyed that. I thought it was a fantastic episode. Like that chance to sort of, let's just delve deep into one character, especially the character that we know the least about. all of a sudden we're like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
we
I
get
quite
this
like
guy.
when shows reveal a character you don't know much about, and you're with them for a couple of episodes, like in
Yeah.
a TV series, and then you have that one like episodes dedicated to them
Yeah,
and more about them. I love it. Fills that in, and what it does makes you go, oh, now that all makes sense. Like I love when shows do that, kind of just add that, give that fourth dimensional
I think that's.
aspect to a character. Like, it's really nice.
You've literally just made me think maybe we should do more of that, because what a chance to sort of understand characters like. I'm immediately thinking Sir Julian, but you know, there's a lot of different characters, and like Rot and Nan, of course, are two separate people. In fact, well, technically there's a third in there as well, isn't there? Could be really interesting as a lasers, where we're like,
Yeah,
actually,
I mean,
we're gonna
Critical
place-
Role does this quite a lot with like one shots and stuff
Yeah.
and live shows. They have like they're like kind of sequels to the campaigns and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but like characters who romance during campaigns have their wedding kind of one shots.
That's cool.
Or like
Who would do a wedding episode, honestly?
I know, right? But it is things like that that kind of flesh out and it brought back a piece of their past into this one shot.
Yeah.
You know, so these were campaign 2 characters, and obviously, you know, the guys were going on to campaign 4.
Yeah.
So it's like going all the way back, and it's like the Mighty Nine, which is,
Yeah.
you know, you can watch on the first season on Amazon Prime. And they have this. I don't want to spoil it. It's like this evil character from the past kind of comes back. So it was one of those loose end stories,
Yes. Okay.
or something they got away from the first time, but it's like, I haven't forgotten about you. I've been planning this for years, kind of
Hell
thing. I was
yeah.
waiting for your most precious moment, your wedding, to come fuck with it, right?
Brilliant.
And destroy everything you care about, you know, in your most precious moment, which is great. I love that. Juicy. I love things like that, and there's definitely things in, you know, even in the D&D universe that I've created. Maybe we have, say, once everything's done with our campaign with D&D, like the final stuff, right? Down the line, like, what if there was a one shot we did, which is like the birth and the civilizations and the stuff you're kind of describing in ruins? What if you go back to that moment where it was in its prime,
Yeah.
and what brought its downfall and stuff like that? Or, you know,
Very cool. Yeah. I like it. I like your thinking.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Do you know what? I was going to ask you something that I think I figured out whilst I was actually watching the episode when it came out on Twitch. During the finale, Josh said with Kin he was going to he had a plan in mind. I'm pretty certain I know what it is after watching the episode and realising what way he was leaning. Did you manage to work out what you thought he was going to do?
Oh, well, he asked about the height of the beast.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I kind of knew. And all right, okay. I think I know what you're saying. We didn't quite get there. It was almost like, this is my plan. I'm going to do this and all of this sort of thing. Then it's like he goes to do this noble thing, and then Varen steps in to take his place.
Yep.
And be the one that holds him.
Yeah.
While you guys did what you had to do and pays the ultimate price, which I think is pretty cool.
I agree. I think that sort of moment of long live the king, you know, the Lion King falling off which is, I mean, to me, I looked to that afterwards and was like, oh, I see exactly what he was thinking. But at the time, I was too busy trying to think, how do I stay involved? Was basically my thought. So I didn't catch it at all. But after watching it, like later on, I was like, oh, he was going to make the sacrifice, right? Okay.
I had a feeling when he was going to, because I think he was going to want to try and tackle him off or something like that. the thing is, especially depending where you are in the turn orders and stuff and how you're achieving things, right? I it could have, who knows? It could have been a brutal moment of he knocks him off all the way down, crashes, dies, but then he just comes back up and Kin's dead. He's not and there's all these sort of things that kind of this horror thing. It's like, oh, he got him, and then he goes,
gets back up.
And maybe that was the ending and the world's destroyed. Blah blah blah.
That's true.
But that wasn't the thing that happened.
Yeah. On top of that, I was going to say, because one of the things that was mentioned, sort of your three options that you gave us, was feed the flesh, destroy the flesh, or do something to the anchor. And I think he was thinking, by do something to the anchor, he's thinking kill the anchor, and he's the anchor. So he's like, if I just die, what does that do to the monster? I mean, which could, that could mean anything.
Yeah, that was possible option.
Yeah, that is a playground, I would say, for the DM right there.
No, but this is one of the things that was one of the things. One of the other things was like, what would your characters do if King's trying to figure something out? What if one of you just turn around and go and looks at you, like Cisco had to look at you and goes, we have to kill him.
Yeah.
Maybe what Kin doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
And then you start finding each other. Like, it's like there were so many things that could have happened, and I would have been delighted by them all.
Yeah.
I just chaos.
Yeah, that would have been very interesting, especially because I'm 100% certain I would have died if we'd have done that. So
feed the flesh could be that thing of you not necessarily just kill him. You could feed the flesh as in give him an offering, and then this thing becomes your new god or something. It's that there's an option there as well. Super Cthulhu cult member vibes, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, accept your fate. Maybe that will be spared if we just give him up, or we just kill him because that's going to save the world, which is the sever the anchor.
Yeah.
And then, but you took feed the flesh, which is great as an option, which is like, I'm going to sacrifice myself.
Yeah. I will say I was worried when I thought that's what I'm going to do. I was like, I've decided this is how it's going to work. And I was like, is David going to let me carry on playing a little bit? Because you could have quite easily gone, no, you're dead, mate. That's it. And that would have been fair enough. But did I roll for it?
Well, it was going to be a one chance thing. If you fucked it, you fucked it. So that was an option as well. Like, that's the thing. I can give you this thing, but if you fuck that up,
which is fair. Yeah. And with the amount of ones I was rolling.
Oof.
Wow. That was brutal.
I think a lot of ones on the way up, wasn't it?
Basically the first half of that was just ones all the way. I think at one point I rolled a 2 and I was very pleased. But it was, it got bad for a while. But
well, you say that's such a cool thing though, that this thing you were like getting your feet caught and things and all this sort of thing. You get bits peeled off you and you go, rather than resisting, you go, I submit. Yeah. Like, that's really cool actually.
I thought so, yeah. Different way of dealing with it, definitely. But it was kind of like, it was almost like an inside man, you've got somebody that's in there now that can do something as well as, people on the outside trying to fight their way through. So it's, I was pleased with it. I suppose we should probably talk about Theobald as well, because how do I get my head around this? He's kind what is he really? He's kind of like a necromancer, but not, if you know what I mean, because he's just dealing with ghosts.
Well, it's medium.
Yeah. But I'm just sort of thinking, from sort of like the non-Candela point of view. I'm looking at him like, that's basically what he's playing, is sort of a necromancer who doesn't actually take over bodies, but gets the spirits of people involved.
Unites them.
And the freedom I think that gives you as a player to be like, look, you can take over souls of people and ghosts and things like that and use their energy and their spirit And of course, he's a good character as well. So he's looking to use those in ways that will help. Man, I think he chose right. He chose a superb character.
I think it was this case of these souls were willing.
Yes.
He never forced them to it, and I think there was there's power in that. Like this thing of we're going to give, we're not going to resist. We're going to give you everything, so this thing can't hurt anybody else.
This is why it's so scary when there's that moment where he uses the sort of spirits around him to sort of, I don't know whether it was to talk to it or to try and do something with the beast. And then the beast consumes them at the end after he's done it. It's like, oh, that option's gone. Oh, shit. All of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, okay, we need to look at the other things in the tool bag and try and work out what to do here. Because we're not going to be able to do that again. Yeah.
Because it is that thing, this thing is, forever flesh, but it's also consuming everything. That's including spirit.
Yeah. But this is... just to sort
see that first creature you fought in the first assignment.
Yeah.
That being was like a remnant.
Oh.
Because they're in some ways they're very similar.
Yes, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. Good point. It's all full circle. I was gonna sort of partially at least compare what Cisco had there with regards to like the ghost to my version of the sort of tinkering scientific equipment, because it's like it's your, how do I put it, like your ace in the hole, your little, okay, I have a thing now that it won't work all the time, and for me I always made sure I was doing stuff in advance instead of being like, right, I've got the perfect thing to resolve this exact situation, I'm going to make it up right now, because that's not really how it should work. And it also makes more hilarity when you're like, I don't have the perfect thing, let's see if it works anyway. So yeah, having those little options where you're like, no, I'm gonna try that, try that coming from this direction using the thing that I've got is quite cool. I mean, like for example, having the sort of acid at the end that frees you from the beast. Even though I don't think I used mine, but it helped Theobald be able to get out, because there was literally a moment where you're like, you're not going to be able to do this because you're stuck with the thing, and Cisco's like, if only I had something that would get me through. Which is, you're just like, oh man, the silly thing I did actually made sense. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I thought the ending for Cisco and for Theobald, the power that you gave him in those last few moments, especially because he rolled a crit as well. It was two sixes, I think.
Yeah,
and essentially pausing time around him to like such a big extent was just like, holy shit, that is immense. Like, I don't think that I cannot think of a character we've played in any other game that has had anything close to that kind of power. And I thought it was perfect, like a perfect last thing for him to be able to do, considering how well he rolled.
Yeah.
What would you have done if he failed?
Fucking yeet him out of fucking New Fair, fucking to the next county, man. No, I think depending if like he rolled a like critical failure, man, it's gonna be like the bleed would go back onto him.
Oh yeah. Oh, in fact, do you know what? You actually gave the decisions, didn't you? You said if you roll this, you could. I think if he rolled a critical fail, he could get hit 3 times. At which point he'd be dead as well.
It's an all or nothing kind of moment.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're gonna give it your all, so do I. Like in that thing, if you fail, I would have hit him like your ability, like the arcane nature, or maybe narrator as Frankenstein gets involved somehow. But it's like this thing of whatever he's trying to do gets disrupted.
Yep.
Concentration, and it blows back on him. So you know how I said like when he was using ability, oh you can use, but it will use bleed for this every time you do it. Or can't remember what I said so long ago now. But like if it had been crit fail, it would have been probably 2 things of bleed, because doubling the effect back onto him. You know, and I didn't think he had a lot left. He would have gone down in that scene.
Yep, he would have, definitely.
I mean, it wouldn't have killed him.
It would have knocked him out.
It would have knocked him out, but to what? Wake up to what world?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that if it's just like you wake up and everything is absolutely ruined and you know it's all your fault? What a way to finish. And that's where we're end, everyone. I mean, but it was possible. It was always possible. Yeah.
I can see me saying a line or something. Now you have plenty of dead to talk to.
Oh, you're evil.
Or so, you know, I was like, yeah. There's plenty of people around you. They're all here.
Chaotic evil.
You know, so there's like different ways the end could have happened, how it's narrated, and so yeah.
Damn.
I mean, like it wasn't going well at all.
No, it wasn't. No.
For any of you guys, really. And it was getting to that final round, I think, changed it all.
Yes.
Like it does in all the good, movies. The good guys turn it around at the last minute.
That is so true as well, because I mean, with 3 turns left, I was like, well, we're not going to win, but maybe we can kind of like reduce the impact. And
there's kind of a draw. It was a draw scenario, if you will.
Yeah, which actually I don't think would have been a bad thing. I think there was that could have been quite an interesting way to finish. Be like, no, you can't just resolve everything and with a nice, pretty bow at the end. And kind of did anyway. But
I think it's one of the draw scenarios I thought of was that you defeat the beast, but Frankenstein lives.
Which would have been very interesting.
And you stand with half a new fair destroyed.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So it's like nobody wins.
Yeah. But you haven't lost.
Yeah. But you haven't lost everything.
That would have been very cool.
But there's also potential that he's still out there, that he's got another chance to do it again or do something worse. Yeah.
So when...
And he's altered now. He's different.
So when did you decide Frankenstein was going to be one of the big bads? Was it like obviously like I mentioned it in passing as a joke to begin with. So when was the point where you were like, this guy is going to become a big thing now?
Well, I think it's, again, I'm very led by how you guys take a story. And me and Cisco were talking about this after I played in his game on Sunday, just about DM stuff, right? Just nerding out. And one of the things was I, especially for the undiscovered game, D&D, that, I had these main points I want to hit, but how we get there and how we go about it, I want you guys to influence, but also there is that side of things where could alter the main points, but they still have the same kind of essence of what I want to achieve.
Okay.
It's more a vibe I want to try and get to, rather than it's exactly this.
Right, gotcha.
Because it will still achieve the objective, just not in the way maybe I've seen it. Because that's happened a couple times when we've played, where I'm like, oh, actually, it's swerved down. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to reveal that in 2 years' time, and and you just go, what? And just things like fun moments, like where you shoot him and you get shot in the head, Frankenstein, and they just
oh. That was beautiful, that moment. That was wonderful.
Yeah, you were like, oh, you critted, you fucking got me in the head, fuck it, man! And he just goes, and I go, uh-oh.
Crap, yeah.
Yeah, at that moment, the way the mechanics were working, he couldn't be killed.
Fair enough.
The thing, he was like taking power from the beast, if you will. So, until you defeat the beast, I'm stuck in cable, sorry. That's, you couldn't kill him.
Yeah.
There was nothing you could do.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, man.
Gotta give it big boss vibes, eh?
Oh, I know. I love a boss like that where you just like it's all or nothing. Especially again because we had that. This is the last time. It was just like throw everything at it, see what sticks, see what we can do.
This is like with the Mind Flayer series. Oh. This is what it was like with the Burnt Bishop. You think, oh, here's the big bad guy, and then two guys come from the shadows and go. Fucking nearly kill Run off the bat.
Yeah, just going.
Fucking nearly killed him.
Jesus, that was a tough battle. Like
surprise!
I will say the running round the little.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
While he's like miniature size.
Yeah.
Come back here!
Every time I think of it, baby legs is the first thing I think of. I know you messaged me afterwards, like, oh man, baby legs.
Yes. But it's like in the video, I wasn't expecting it at all. Like, oh, what the fuck was that? That was funny as fuck. And you gave me all my explosions, so thank you.
Oh yeah, I did.
The amount of times I sit.
Did you see the very ending of The Last Candela? Your jump scare. You didn't.
What did I do?
Oh, you didn't see your final jump scare.
No,
I deepened your voice. I made you look proper.
Did
evil.
you?
Oh yeah,
man, this just shows how busy I am.
Yeah.
I can't even watch the fucking videos that much. I will watch bits on stream while it's going, and then I'm like, oh fuck, I need to go do that thing.
Yeah.
But let me see the end.
Like the last 20-30 seconds of the YouTube video.
The whole thing. Oh really?
Yeah. Very last episode, like 30 seconds to the end. Like, there's a moment where you do your stupid jump scare. Sorry, your amazing jump scare. And I like full on like deepened your voice, and I think I switched the. What did I do? I reversed the colours, I think, and it made you look really weird. So,
all right. I think I'm about there, so I'm gonna watch this real quick.
But yeah, I was actually super proud of it. It's very silly. So I would show it on stream. In fact,
I'm doing the outro.
I'll pop it in. I'll pop it in here for people watching on YouTube. But yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you to all the players. We'll see you whatever comes next. Thank you. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's going to be so epic. It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. I actually did some work on it.
Turning into negative. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so great. Yay.
I finally
because sometimes it's because they're sprinkled. Sometimes you don't know they're coming.
Exactly.
Like I think I just missed them. Like I missed baby legs as well, and then you told me about baby legs, or it was I can't remember. You were talking about baby legs. I think I saw it in the WhatsApp thing before chat, right? Yeah. And then I went into what before we started, and I went, "Oh my god, it's baby legs!"
So stupid. Oh man.
Instead of baby legs.
And regular legs. God, it's so stupid. So here's a question for you. Is there anything because this is the first time we've ever played Candela, it's the first time you've ever run it. What are your thoughts on the system? What did you enjoy? What maybe did you find a bit more difficult?
I guess the simplicity of it, but I say that with a pinch of salt because there's some things I think it's like the difference with Candela, and I feel maybe it's just unnecessary pressure, but just because it's still, Candela's been around for a short time. They've not added additional content that I'm aware of, but it's like this thing of fleshing out. Because they talk about seeing the history, they fight otherwhere, which is a different nation.
Yes.
But there's never any sort of extended history on that. I think they purposely done that, especially for when they aired series about it. You know, they did multiple, like, they did 3 like limited series kind of thing with different cast and stuff like this. And I think it's like fleshing out, and I think it allows certain things to be open. I mean, it does give you some historical events and stuff like that, but it's very, I wouldn't say vague. There is detail in it, but it's like, I feel like you have to live and breathe Candela, which I feel like it's, could I do it more justice in that perspective with our game? Yes.
True. But
is that also what you silly goofy guys want to do? Not necessarily. And I think it's like, especially with how short of time frames we play, like we only play for 2 hours.
Yeah.
If it's longer sessions or something like that, maybe I'm like, right, I'm really gonna actually fully throw myself in this.
Sure.
But it's like, how much can I give in that time that's interesting enough and characters, and how much do we just want to make ours? Like, fuck's sake, Frankenstein, come on. Like, Frankenstein is not in that universe. He is not. But we did it. Yes. And we made it silly, which, you know, I don't think was necessarily intended for that game.
Absolutely
But I think it was fun. I actually liked how it sprinkled things, because there was moments when we played where I made you silent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did.
Which kind of like you guys were just like listening, right?
Yeah. With
some of the descriptions. And it's not me going, oh, look how great a DM I am at creating a fucking scene, right? But it's like the thing, but it's when you watch, if not me, someone else, anyone, doesn't have to be me, right? But it's just what effect that does by having that comedy aspect in the person lied, because I think you need that light and shade, light and shadow, you know, which makes sense as well, furthermore, for the name of your circle.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it kind of naturally worked in that respect.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think the thing is that I hopefully it comes through in other aspects, but we all make each other laugh even when we're not streaming. Like we all enjoy doing like silly stuff and being a bit mad anyway. So that was always going to come through at least partially. Yeah. But so it was kind of like always going to be organically there for us. But I think when you add in somebody who's from outside coming in Cisco, you get a new dynamic to it as well. Yeah. So Cisco's a fairly straight sort of laced player until he's not. Until there's a moment where he's like, I'm going to go for this bit. And, and all of a sudden he's just the funniest thing of the episode. And you're like, the hell, man?
He just comes down with that stuff,
Yeah, exactly.
So funny. I mean, you can watch this on YouTube, so it's not really a spoiler, but we were in this scene like last week where, you know, it's like, and, you know, you come out the vault, you do this sort of thing, and you're back at the party, right? Yeah. And you go to find Nessa, and you knock on the door, and you hear some like grunting and sounds and like breathlessness. You're like, you think something's seriously wrong with Nessa, and we're like, we'll barge in, and she's like, I'm getting it on with a servant. And it's like, we're like, oh, sorry. It's just like one of the other characters. You're going to be hosting a party. What are you doing? Like,
That's great. Oh my god.
Back on.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was so funny. So Cisco does have those moments. And it's great because it kind of comes out of nowhere, but it's great.
Yeah.
I love that. You know, sort of thing. So that's super fun, and there's all sorts of I think it was an interesting fit for us. We've never played something this dark before, and yet I thought it fit us really well. I know you personally have like a love for the sort of darker side of things as well, whereas I will say that's not really my thing. I'm not really a horror sort of person or anything like that. Yeah, but this for me worked. I thought it was just perfect. I loved playing. Well, that's the thing. they talk about this, I think, in the book, in the core rule. Like, people, like, how much horror do you want to give?
Yeah.
Are your players necessarily into that? How tame do you want to go? Do you just want to make it spooky ghosts and that's it, right? You know, like a Casper the Ghost, right? Yeah. You know, or do you want to go hardcore?
Well, I mean,
yeah. At the same time, can you stream that with some of the descriptions you might give if you're a super horror buff like I am?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's the only thing we've ever put out where we've put a disclaimer at the start. You know.
Yeah.
And I think that was the right thing to do, and that was
episode 1, man.
Yeah, that was that was your call as well, and you were absolutely right to do it. Mm-hmm. And I agree with it. Yeah. It was. Yeah. I think I always. Do you know what? It just takes me back to like my days when I was watching like horror stuff, and just I was always like, do you know what? Maybe I do need to get back into the darker stuff, because I'm loving this sort of way of playing, especially when like something horrible will happen, and you're just like, oh yeah, God, we're in a world that really doesn't care whether we're here or not. We're just sort of part of it, kind of thing, you know. I think it's just so different to what we've done before, but it felt like the right sort of change for us to sort of try something different, and yet we brought our own sort of flair to it as well, which I loved. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah, and we had an all right DM as well, so
yeah, thankfully.
Yeah. If you'd have left it with me, we'd been fighting like clowns or something by the end. Oh wait, that's a really good idea. Where's my phone?
Hey man, I like it, so you know.
Fight clowns. Would you like a little present?
What's the present?
So, it's to do with our next episode.
Yeah.
So, I think we've already kind of spoken about it before and what we're doing. We're doing a series that's definitely not Harry Potter, and how dare you say it. But what if it was? Called Magic and Mischief. Was it Mischief and Magic? I get mixed up now. But we have actually already filmed the session 0.
I just looked at Twitch chat, you fuck.
Yeah,
I see that first. Chat.
No. Don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so we brought out, or we have done our first episode of Magic and Mischief, and I thought it went really well. It was a really fun thing to film. So that's what we're going to be putting out next. Now, I was originally going to show the intro and a little bit of what we actually sort of did within the episode, and I was like, do you know what? I do not want to spoil it at all. But what
we did misbehave quite a lot in this episode.
My God, it was.
We were getting outrageous at some points, I think.
I will, without spoiling anything, what you did to Hagrid was completely unacceptable. Poor Hagrid. Oh, it was funny though. It was super funny. But yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to do was just do a little like prelude before the episode starts. Yeah, I know, right? I wanted to do a little prelude before the episode starts, and I was like, why not show that bit, just so you get a rough idea of what we're coming into the universe showing. So it's only about 30 seconds long, but if you like, I'll show you that. You up for that?
Yeah, let me switch to...
Sweet. I shall give you a moment to sort yourself out, but yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Cool. Alrighty. Oh, come, weary traveller, hear my tale of wands and wonders beyond the pale. A world of magic, brave and bold, where stories sit, yet untold. A scarless boy still casts his spell in tales of triumph. All is well. The halls of Hogwarts hum with cheer, no whispers dark, no creeping fear. So roll the dice, let fate decide. Your Patronus gleams, your friends beside. A world reborn where joy persists. For Voldemort, he never exists. Oh, yes, indeed.
Oh.
So a little a little taster, perhaps there, a little taster, and the basics of what I'm trying to get across there, and like I say, that will just come after the intro. Is essentially everything is the same, but it's not for one reason, and that is because because the bad guy isn't there. And the original thought was, I just want to get Voldemort out the way and I'll do my own bad guys. No, that'll be fun. And then I was like, oh god, the implications of what this means is so far reaching, because he's actually genuinely got a hand in absolutely everything throughout all of those films. That I was like, holy hell, I haven't thought this through. So even...
No, it's my turn.
yeah. So now even I am like, oh crap, I really have to think about this. Now, you know, I've got plans, I've got ideas, and I've got things I want to do. I've got, all right, obviously I've got other bad guys in mind. We're not going to be playing a game where everything's beautiful and wonderful. But even the fact that, all the characters that were in Harry Potter are going to be in this, which I was talking to Ben about and he didn't realise, and you might now understand why he made his character. They're all going to be in it, but the difference is Harry Potter ain't got his scar. He's never had that happen. He was in a happy family.
Loser.
Exactly, he is fucking loser, yeah. But this is the fun thing, is that he can... It makes so many changes to so many characters all of a sudden, because one kid wasn't almost killed and he's now got his parents. Is he... I mean, is... James Potter was always like a bit of a bully, was the understanding, to an extent anyway. Maybe he's taken on that role. What happens to Malfoy now that, Harry Potter isn't like the kid that's trying to outshine him? But he's not trying to, but he is outshining him just by the fact of who he is, Do Ron and Hermione even pay attention to him? Because, to begin with, it's the pull of knowing somebody that, is famous. It's really interesting. And of course, we then slot our own characters into it, and it's I will just say, the three characters couldn't have been chosen better. You cannot I cannot think of it. I wouldn't have predicted these characters. Your character is to a point where I think I actually said to you, "This is too much," and then you were like, "Yeah, we're doing it anyway." I was like, "I'm not going to stop."
Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah, I was like, "I'm not going to stop you," but you have gone too far.
You've gone too far, sir.
I mean, Josh has came up with something at the start which made me laugh so much. I was genuinely struggling, and then. Well, as you know, Ben loves to find the comedy no matter where he is. So his character is just insane. And yet, it's so Sir Julian that he might be out Sir Julianing himself. So, But, the thing is he's been asking me for this for a long time, Ben, because he wanted it to be... Obviously, because he hasn't been in the games for a while, he was like, I want to come back, but let's do a Harry Potter thing because I love it and I really want to get involved in that. I was like, hell yeah, we're going to do that. So, I'm pleased to have him sort of back in it as well. But, the next two episodes are insane. And you will probably note that we are kind of getting used to the rules as we go, and there's one or two things I say that we kind of didn't follow quite as well as we should have, but that's fine. It happens. Okay. It's more about the fun of the episode, I think. How about you? How did you find it?
Had a great time. We were absolutely stupid.
Yes. It felt like old times. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It is lasers and feelings, but I've given you magic, which just seems like the most stupid thing I could have done.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it really was. It really was.
Yes.
But I genuinely can't wait for it. So that is going to come out. I think is that going to be next Thursday? I have to just check my calendar, but I believe it's going to be next Thursday. Just check. Yes, it is. It is, because I'm around on Thursday. Wonderful. So that'll be popping onto your screen in April. What the hell?
Wonderful.
Yeah. Then there's going to be nothing for a week because Muggins here is going on holiday. And then hopefully it should come back the week after that, which, probably a Thursday. Sorry, a Wednesday, actually, for that one. That'll be the 15th. With a small possibility of that maybe not going ahead because I'm trying to do a thing that we spoke about earlier, which, would be nice. But we'll see. We'll see. But yes, anyway, you've got your next 2 episodes coming out. We are going to be filming middle of next month, I think. We're going to be filming the sort of proper session 1 for Magic and Mischief, which I cannot wait for. It's I don't want to say anything, but it's all the bits I want you guys to now be put into, and I just want to see how you react and how you handle it. Because it's going to be so fun. I think,
then none of those things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll be like, and this happens. You know that bit from the film? You're like, what over there? There's a thing over there. It's like, no. Look in front of you.
No.
In fact, now, just to spoil slightly, that literally happens to a character. I'm like, you look over here. They're like, no, no, I don't. I'm like, no, just have a glance. No. Oh gosh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yes. Anyway.
Also, I was talking to Sisso. He'd be very interested in joining a Time Flux episode.
Oh hell yes! Oh behind the scenes we've been doing a bit of chat about Time Flux, haven't we? I'd love to get that back because obviously we lost half an episode there, didn't we? And I don't know.
Yes.
I know you were planning on bringing that back and using Time Flux elements to allow us to go back into that.
Yeah, thankfully it's all about time travel and shit. So it's like there's ultimate ways you can deal with that. So yeah.
I've also got a bit of a plan to see if I can, not definitely, but I'm going to try and bring somebody new in just for an episode, which I think might be fun. I haven't even mentioned that to you. I'll tell you afterwards. Yeah, could be fun. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And we've also got some bits. I don't know how far along Josh is with it, but we've already filmed some bits for his D&D, haven't we? So, oh my god, that moment in the D&D that is the funniest thing that's ever happened. I can't believe that's been so long since it happened. It's in my head all the time.
I love run free, baby.
Yeah, it's super.
Well, my character does anyway.
Yeah, it's such a good thing.
Yeah. I like that character. I enjoyed, I'm looking forward to how that develops.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I love my accent. My accent was fun in that one. I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to make sure I don't use it that much because I'm like, I know I want to use it for this character instead.
Yeah, it's an accent I never done before as well.
Yeah, so, good fun. All right. Well, we didn't even look at my 20 points, but I think maybe we should end it there because I think we've gone through the important stuff really.
Yeah,
do you know what?
Yeah.
One more point before we finish off actually to do with Candela. What a wonderful way it ended, I thought, with the sort of all meeting at the two guys meeting at the university because obviously Kin goes off into the sunset. But we still get the other two characters meeting at the university and just having a conversation over a cup of tea. I thought that was, bringing it back to full circle because that's how things started and that's how things will end. I thought it was brilliant, and I would. God knows whether you would ever want to do it, but I would love to see Cisco's Circle at some point and how that would run.
Cisco's Circle.
Oh yeah, because I could imagine that being very.
It becomes a light keeper, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what if the professor had lived. I don't know what I would have done with him. He definitely wouldn't have been a light keeper, but God knows what he would have been. I genuinely had never given it any thought. But,
back to city life, back to
crazier and crazier inventions.
Yeah. Well, there's also an argument to say, if you guys have asked me would I do any more. And then, there's also stories, you could tell the aftermath.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And what impact that had on New Fair, and kind of what does that do to New Fair, like the city and the energy it gives to people.
Yeah.
What kind of things come out of that?
Yeah.
That be of things of hope, but also what evil does that allow to maybe fester?
It's true.
Like, because it is like a kind of disaster, like ground zero kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something like 5 years later or something. They've just finished the reconstruction of the steam.
Yeah.
But has had to pull out the pockets of the taxpayer and
Exactly.
and
taxpayers who have already
rebuilding
had...
the homes, and it's like that thing of like, so New Fair goes through like it's close to a financial crisis or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something cool that can happen, and like what
Well, that's not
that
very
bleeds
relatable
in
at
the
all.
city. No, never. No. It definitely didn't have a fire at Glasgow Central. No. No, that never happened. That never made the national news. No.
Oh
Yes.
gosh, I like your thinking though. Yeah, it's.
But
it's a
you know
good
what I
one.
mean.
Yeah. I mean, on top of that, you've got so many people that have died during those couple of episodes. What has that done? You've essentially lost.
We lost one of the most important members of the group in that episode, though.
Yeah.
The Science Mobile.
The Science Mobile. And long may she reign. The Science Mobile. Oh, man. That moment where you said the Science Mobile comes around the corner, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get to drive it one more time. You're like, it gets immediately crushed. I was like, that's even better. It was just, when you said that, I was like, I actually prefer that happened.
So funny. It's still featured. Its
feature is that it folds up and
It's foreboding your demise. It was sitting. Whether the Science Mobile dies, so does he.
Exactly. One cannot live without the other. Oh man. Science Mobile. What the hell was that about? It's the stupidest thing. Why the hell did I come up with that? That's even worse than that. It was one of my 3 boxes of load as well in almost every episode. It was like, you've not even used it. So what a waste. But I had to have it. So that was brilliant. Yeah. Oh, what a stupid thing that was.
So funny.
On that note of Science Mobiles, shall we end there?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yes, well, look, watch out. Next Thursday, the very first episode of Magic and Mischief. It is a doozy. It's a doozy. And I will say, I've worked really hard on the edit, and I'm genuinely proud of it. It was... I've put a lot more little clips. You can actually see some of the characters in there, stuff like that. I mean, obviously, it's not exactly the same characters. You can't use the likeness of certain people, but I have found creative ways around this and stuff like that. I think it'll be a fun watch. So please do have a look. Anyway, that is it from me. Anything else you want to add? Nah, okay, well, sounds like we're basically done. I'm currently looking for my end card, and I can't find it. God damn it.
No, not the end card, it's the end!
There, is that it there? No. I've genuinely completely lost it, and I don't know how. There it is. No. I found it now. I found it. I did it. I am the hero. Anywho. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a lovely rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. It looks like it's going to be good out there. And we'll see you again next week. Take care, everyone. See you later.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.